Welcome, Sachinji. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this with us. Before we get started with asking you some questions that people want to know, I just wanted to get an understanding of your profile and what your specialization and what your expertise is.
Hi, Srishti. Thank you for calling me. I've been with DLNB for now 10 years now. And basically, I look at the dispute resolution space where I do basically all the dispute resolution, the insolvency, bankruptcy, the DRT, bank recoveries. So all those kind of matters, and I had the litigation of the DLNB. That is what I've been doing. So you could say that my main space would be the dispute resolution and insolvency.
And how long have you been doing this?
It's been 15 years now.
Wow. Okay. So we have a very experienced person answering these questions. Okay. So Sachinji, basically the first question that I wanted to ask you is, are there any changes in the NPA declaration norms that have been given due to the pandemic? And what would they be if there are any?
Because of the pandemic, all businesses have been hit. So Reserve Bank on the 27th of March came out with a circular which gives a moratorium on the installments of the term loans and the interest of the working capital loans. So when we talk about term loans, it includes basically all kinds of loans, even a car loan or a house loan. Basically, a term loan, we mean any loan which has a fixed tenure of payment. So what the RBI said that any installments which are due between 1st of March to 31st of May, the person who is availed the loan has the option to take a moratorium or not take a moratorium. So he has to select whether he wants to take a moratorium. So if he takes a moratorium, the installments will not be charged to him and they would be rescheduled. As the tenure would increase by 3 months, or he may increase the further payments, or he may increase the tenure. That will depend on what he wants to do. So that is one thing that they have done. Second, they have done on the working capital loans, they have said that no interest will be charged between 1st March and 31st of May. So the drawing power would more or less remain the same. Interest has not been debited to the account of the borrowers.
Interrupt over there. You've said that interest will not be charged for that period.
Yes.
Is it true that it would be waived or will it be deferred? There's a big difference.
It is deferred. It is not waived. It says the moment the period is over. So if the period is over today, then tomorrow the 3 months interest will be debited to your account automatically. That is what the working capital circular says.
Sure.
And then they have also said that suppose account was turning an NPA in March, then they will not declare it an NPA and it will have a 3 months moratorium. And the effect of NPA will be seen after this moratorium finishes. So basically between 1st of March to 31st of May, the account remains as it was on 29th of February, whether a standard or a SMA1, SMA2, and does not shift to another category for these 3 months because there is a moratorium.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so that's really useful probably to these companies, but their cash flow impact remains to be seen post the moratorium period. Okay.
Yes.
What are the relaxations that are given under this Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code for companies and businesses?
There are just basically 2 relaxations that have been given by the Ministry and the IBBI with respect to the IBC. One is exclusion of the entire period of the lockdown. So the lockdown started from the 24th of March. So till the time it continues, that period would be excluded and not be counted either in the CRP or the liquidation process. So the matter as it was on 24th March will start from whenever it starts, hopefully on the 15th of April, as from the same where it was left. So this timeline will not be counted. That is one. Second is they have increased the default figure from 1 lakh to 1 crore. So earlier, if you had a 1 lakh default, I could be sending a notice to any corporate debtor. But now that default minimum limit has been raised to 1 crore. The idea behind this of the government is to protect the small MSME units where the defaults amount, because of this pandemic, they may default in a lot of payments and they may face a lot of issues in which they may go into IBC. To protect them, the limits have been raised. But what I think is all this has been done in a very haphazardly manner, because there are two things that they have not looked at. One is all over India and all the NCLTs, there are a number of matters pending where the default amount is less than 1 crore. Now, what is going to happen to those matters? Are those matters going to be dismissed because the default amounts are less? There may be situations where the person has already sent a Section 8 notice and was planning to file a petition, but because of the lockdown could not file, and the default amount is less than 1 crore. So whether he can file, cannot file, so no clarity on that. The second scenario is they are saying they are wanting to protect MSME so they don't face an IBC because of the default. It could be a reverse situation, that is, an MSME has to take money from someone because they also supply. And because their outstandings are not very large, maybe a 10 lakh outstanding. Now today, because of this, the MSME cannot give a notice to the other person or take him to insolvency because the limit is raised to 1 crore. So I don't really know whether it is good or bad. If it comes to the courts and it will be tested, we'll know. But what I feel is done in a little haphazard manner without realizing the impacts of the current matters to be filed, and the reverse situation with an MSME if they are really wanting to protect them. So let's see how it pans out once the lockdown opens and things come back to normal, and how this is taken up by courts.
Sure. To briefly summarize, you have basically given us two relaxations that have been given under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. One is for companies that are already in the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. This period of lockdown has been excluded from the CIRP period, so that maybe some resolution can be had. And the second is for companies where the limit has been raised from 1 lakh to 1 crore for the default amount, to be able to admit any case into the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. You mentioned that
Yes.
the impact may remain to be seen, and we will have to see how the situation unfolds when the lockdown does open up. Okay, so my next question is on this same topic. Is that will these relaxations actually help otherwise solvent companies from going into the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, even in the short term or even in the medium term?
They are going to help because a person, if you want to take a company to insolvency, there has to be a default. If I am a solvent company, I've been honoring all my payments, and suddenly because of this pandemic, because I'm not recovering payments, I'm not able to make payments to my banks or to my suppliers. The situation of IBC would have come on me, they would have sent me notices, or the banks would have filed a Section 7. Now, because of a moratorium and this period of 3 months as per the RBI circular, from 1st of March till 31st of May, no installments to be paid and all installments to be deferred, and they will not be treated as a default.
Sure.
Is obviously a relaxation to all the solvent companies, because when there is no default, there can't be an IBC.
Yeah, that makes sense. But ultimately, when the moratorium does get over, those companies will still have those obligations, and any of the revenue that they've missed during the period of lockdown or during this pandemic, nothing would be able to compensate for that. So ultimately, there is likely to be
That is
issues.
true. It is to be seen what happens. These other two issues that have to be seen. One is when all this opens and companies come back, what happens, how do they make payments. Now, obviously, in a country like India, there are genuine borrowers and there are borrowers who are only taking money and siphoned and things. So the basic advantage, I would say, is to the people who are not wanting to pay back at all, because they've got a 3-month moratorium. But the genuine businessman who is wanting to pay, the genuine businessman who is wanting to pay may have a good effect of the moratorium, but when the moratorium ends, will he be in a position to pay all this all at one go, or not, is again a situation, because again a default would happen there.
Yeah, yeah. I understand. But thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and experience to tell us about the impact of this pandemic on the NPA declaration norms as well as on the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, and what follow on impact this will have on companies and businesses. And thank you so much for your time. So, hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, thank you, Srishti.